Hello everybody, welcome back to another Bleach 5e update video. For this update, we have 3 new additions that have been added to the book. So the first one here is the 3 new subclasses: Assassin, Berserker, Infusionist, Schrifts, H through P, and a Patron exclusive Fullbringer subclass, Esper. So if you want access to that, be sure to subscribe to Patreon. Any tier will do. You get access to that and a bunch of other content that I will be added as well, which I'll go through later on in this video. But right away, I want to thank everyone that's currently subscribed to the channel. If you aren't subscribed, please subscribe to help me out. Try to post as many videos as I can regarding the Bleach book, and maybe some Bleach content in the future as well regarding to like the manga and the anime. But at the moment, I'm trying to focus on getting this book done as quickly as possible. So please subscribe. Comment below, like the video, let me know what you think, let me know if there's any other additions you want to get added, and of course we have the Bleach 5e community Discord you can be part of. That would be great for you guys to join in there and be active, ask me some questions, or just talk about the book or anything else on there. So let's move on over and go through these updates. So first up, we're going to go over the Assassin subclass. Starting at 2nd level, the Assassin gets roguish talents. Gain proficiency in light armor, simple weapons, proficiency in thieves tools, proficiency in dexterity saving throws. Choose 2 skills of the following to be proficient in, and you can hide as a bonus action. Also at 2nd level, you get sneak attack, which is similar to normal D&D sneak attack, nothing different there. At 6th level, get evasion, which I'm assuming most people are familiar with. At 10th level, you get supreme sneak. You have advantage on dexterity stealth checks if you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. 14th level, you get blind sense out to 10 feet. And then at 18th level, you get death attack. You become a master of instant death. When you attack and hit a creature that is surprised, it must make a constitution saving throw. DC 8 plus your dex mod plus your proficiency bonus. On a failed save, double the damage of your attack against the creature. Pretty simple rogue-ish subclass for the Fullbringers at the moment. I know I wanted to add something like this for the Fullbringers because right now there's no real like rogue subclass at all in the book currently. So I think the Fullbringers getting something like this would be great. I might change this in the future, be a little bit more different, more unique. But at the moment, I know it's something that some people have been asking for, wanted to play as, and wasn't really in the book. So now it's in the book, and then later on I'll come back to it and maybe revisit and change it. But if there's any changes you guys want to see specifically to the Assassin to be more unique in different ways, feel free to let me know, put in the comments below. But with that said, let's move on over to the next one, the Berserker subclass. So for the Berserker, as you can see here, fairly similar to the Barbarian and the Rage feature, slightly different, just to kind of match, what we have going on here in the book in regards to SP. So let's go through it. 2nd level, you get Berserk. On your turn, you can spend 2 SP and enter Berserk mode as a bonus action. While Berserking, you gain the following benefits if you aren't wearing armor. You have advantage on checks and saving throws involving strength or constitution. If you use the attack action to make a melee weapon attack, you can make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus action. Ooh, I can't spoke. You have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. And if you are able to cast spells, you can't cast them or concentrate on them while raging. Your Berserk mode lasts for 1 minute. It ends early if you're knocked unconscious or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile creature since your last turn or taken damage since then. You can also end it on your turn as a bonus action. Once you have Berserked, you must finish a long rest before you can do so again. 2nd level still, unarmored defense. While you're not wearing any armor or wielding a shield, your armor class equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your constitution modifier. 6th level, you get Mindless Rage. You can't be charmed or frightened while berserking. If you are charmed or frightened when you berserk, the effect is suspended for the duration. At 10th level, you get Relentless. Berserking can keep you fighting despite grievous wounds. If you drop to 0 HP while you're berserking and don't die outright, you can make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw. If you succeed, you drop to 1 hit point instead. Each time you use this feature, after the first, the DC increases by 5. When you finish a short or long rest, the DC resets to 10. 14th level, Retaliation. When you take damage from a creature that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to make a melee weapon attack against that creature. And at 18th level, you get Primal Champion. Your strength and con scores increase by 4. Your maximum for those scores is now 24. I also want to change the final 18th level ability for Berserker, but I'm trying to get these kind of done. So, but I think it's okay at 18th level. I'm just thinking of something more better to give them, but I think it's okay. Usually the level 20 capstone for Barbarian, you're just getting it 2 levels earlier. It's okay, but I'm thinking of something more unique. So if you have any, suggestions, feel free to put in the comments below. But that's the Berserker. Let me know what you guys think. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a good mix and a few little changes I think that I like from the Barbarian that I think fits better for this setting here. So let's move on over to the Infusionist. So the Infusionist is actually one of my favorite classes for the Fullbringers. I think it's pretty neat. I'm a big fan of it. It's based off of the Artificer, the I'm already blanking on the name. The infusions that they do, the magic item infusions. That's the whole subclass is mainly built around that feature, which I think is really neat. So let's go through it. Infusionist. Through your Fullbring, souls of other objects have spoken to you, allowing you the ability to tinker with items. You gain spellcasting. First level, 2 cantrips of your choice from the human spell list. Spell point spiel was similar to all the other classes. Spell known, same thing. They're wisdom-based spell casting. Most of this is all the same that you've seen in Shinigami, Quincy, and all the other ones. So nothing too different there. But let's go over to Magical Artifice. You gain the following benefits: proficient in wisdom saving throws, proficient in simple weapons, proficient in light armor, proficient in tinker's tools, and 1 type of artisan tools of your choice. You can take the use an object action as a bonus action on your turn. And then the bread and butter of the class, Infusions. At 2nd level, you pull on the soul of mundane items and mix in a part of your soul, infusing them with magic. You learn 4 infusions. You learn 2 new ones at 6th, 10th, 14th, and 18th level. After performing a ritual that takes 1 minute and spending the listed amount of SP, you touch a non-magical item and imbue it with one of your infusions, turning it into a magic item. An infusion works only on certain kinds of objects as specified in the infusion's description. If the item requires attunement, you can attune yourself to it the instant you infuse the item. If you decide to attune the item later, you must do so following the normal process for attunement. Your infusions remain in an item until you finish your next long rest. After that, the infusions vanish. You can infuse more than 1 non-magical object at a time. The maximum number of objects is equal to your proficiency bonus plus 1. Each of your infusions can be in only 1 object at a time. Moreover, no object can bear more than 1 of your infusions at a time. If you try to exceed your maximum number of infusions, the oldest infusion immediately ends and then the new infusion applies. So we have a pretty decent list here of infusions that we got. I'm not going to go through them because they're basically the current Artificer infusions. I am planning to add a lot more to this list, but for this update, I won't have time to add them to it. So hopefully by the next update, you'll see this list get even bigger with different kinds of infusions. But these are currently the ones that we have here. So I've already made a few ones like Elevator Weapon. That's a new one that I made. But yeah, most of them are basically the same. So let's continue on to the next one, which is the level 6 ability, Pull Memory. At 6th level, you can pull on the soul of an object you hold or your immediate surroundings to gain visions of its past. You spend at least 1 minute in meditation, then receive dreamlike shadowy glimpses of recent events. You can meditate in this way for a number of minutes equal to your wisdom score and must maintain concentration during that time as if you were casting a spell. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Object reading. Holding an object as you meditate, you can see visions of the object's previous owner. After meditating for 1 minute, you learn how the owner acquired and lost the object, as well as the most recent significant event involving the object and that owner. If the object was owned by another creature in the recent past within a number of days equal to your wisdom score, you can spend 1 additional minute for each owner to learn the same information about that creature. Area reading. As you meditate, you see visions of recent events in your immediate vicinity, a room, street, tunnel, clearing, or the like, up to 50-foot cube. Going back to a number of days equal to your wisdom score, for each minute you meditate, you learn about 1 significant event, beginning with the most recent. Significant events typically involve powerful emotions such as battles and betrayals, marriages and murders, births and funerals. However, they may also include more mundane events that are nevertheless important in your current situation. Big fan of this one. I'm a big fan of this feature here. I love it. I think that's like super flavor. One of my favorite non-combat kind of features, and I love seeing things like this. Next one, infuse magic items. Starting at 10th level, you can also use your infusions feature on magic items, which can include Zapacto and any of the other armaments. 14th level, dual infusions. You can infuse 2 infusions on a single item. They must be 2 different infusions. 18th level, eternal effusions. Your infusion remains in an item indefinitely, but when you die, the infusion vanishes. So that's the current iteration of the Infusionist. I'm a big fan of it. I really like it, and I'm hoping to hear lots of good things about it. Let me know what you guys think. If it's not good, if it's too good, or if you have any suggestions of additional infusions, I'd love to hear it as well. Let me know in the comments below, or heading on over to the Discord as well. You guys can go on there and let me know there as well. So let's move on over to the new Schrifts. First one up is H the Heat. You are able to manipulate the ratio in the air and generate flames and launch them at foes. Your Shrift deals fire damage equal to your Halig Bogan. So if we go here, all of them here that we see that are used within the manga, just been adapted for use in the book. So Burner Finger 1. As an action, you launch a burning streak of energy toward a creature within range. Make a range attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes damage. Burner Finger 2. 6 SP. As an action, you shoot out an arch of fire. Choose up to 6 targets in front of you. Each one must make a dexterity saving throw on a failed save, taking damage, or half as much on a save. Burner Finger 3. As an action, you touch an unattended object or structure and deal double damage to it. If the object or structure is made of rock or similar material, lava forms in an area with a radius equal to half its size. The area is considered difficult terrain and deals 66 fire damage to any creature that first moves into the area and or begins a turn within the area. Burner Finger 4, 10 SP. You create a fiery blade around one of your hands that lasts for 1 minute. You can use your action to make a melee attack with the fire blade. On hit, the target takes an additional 36 fire damage. The flaming blade sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. Burning Full Finger, 15 SP. You unleash a torrent of flame in a spiraling cone in front of you. Each creature in a 60-foot cone must make a dexterity saving throw. Man, no me no speak. A creature takes 8d8 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. The fire spreads around corners. It ignites flammable objects in the area that aren't being worn or carried. Burning Stomp, 10 SP. You stomp on the ground, releasing a torrent of fire and heat which sweeps over the surrounding area. Each creature in a 30-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 3d6 fire damage and is set on fire. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and isn't set on fire. Current iteration of H the Heat. Let me know what you guys think. Pretty much one of the fairly easier ones to adapt, as we had a good amount of information on this one. So, thankfully, pretty easy. Might need to up the damage on some of these, do some additional damage. So by the time you see this video, that might have already been added to it. But I think it's pretty good. I like it. All of them were fairly easy to implement, and I like it. I like it a lot. So let's move on over to the next one. I the Iron. Honestly, one of the easiest ones to make. I mean, this could have gone a different, so many different ways. But let's see what the current one is that I've done. As an action, you can spend 4 SP any number of times and coat your skin with a layer of iron. For each time you spend 4 SP this way, anytime you take damage for the next hour is reduced by that amount. So if you spend 4 SP, say like 10 times, then anytime you take damage, damage is reduced by 10. Now, I know other people might have done like temporary hit points, or they, would have done maybe like a higher AC. Higher AC is just not fun, I think. So like I'm also anticipating this for like players and other players who battle against each other sometimes, because I know I do some of my PvP battles with this. So I want some of these to not be just busted, and I think just bonus AC would just be super boring and not creative at all. SP wouldn't work. I mean, temporary HP wouldn't work, because as we can see in the show, that coat kind of just stays on almost indefinitely of iron that King Du has. So I don't think that was good either. So I think damage reduction is probably the best route to do this. But maybe I'm wrong. Let me know below in the comments if you guys think something else is better, or if this isn't enough, too strong, too weak. I'd love to hear. Let's go on over now to J the Jail. As an action, you can choose one of the following options and spend the appropriate amount of SP. Additionally, the duration of each effect is 1 year. You can spend an action to dispel any effect. and Quincy are unaffected by this Schrifts effects. Lock, 10 SP. You choose a closed door, window, gate, chest, or other entryway within 60 feet of you that you can see, and it becomes locked for the duration. You and the creatures you designate when you cast a spell can open the object normally. Otherwise, it is impassable until it is broken or the spell is dispelled or suppressed. While affected by the spell, the object is impossible to break or force open. Currently, I use the word spell. I'm going to change it. By the time you see this, it might be different. I don't know what kind of wording I'm going to use. I might just say shrift just to make it easy because that's what it is. But that's kind of what it is. But let's keep on moving on. Jail, 20 SP. An immobile, opaque, cube-shaped cage composed of magical force springs into existence around a creature within 60 feet that you can see. The cage can be up to 20 feet on a side and is made from 1.5 inch diameter bars spaced 1.5 inch apart. The creature in the cage is trapped. A creature inside the cage can't leave it by non-magical means such as teleportation or interplanar travel. Nothing can physically pass through the cage, including sound. It is immune to all damage and can't be dispelled by dispel magic. Creatures within the cage cannot be detected by divination magic, and their Ryatsu is undetectable. The cage also extends into the ethereal plane, blocking ethereal travel. I think it's pretty good. Very similarly resembles what we see within the show. Both ways, as we can see, these were used, and I think they're really great. I'm a big fan of how they turn out. Let me know what you guys think. If maybe there's some changes I need to make as well, as usual. What you guys think about it, let me know. But let's move on over to K, the blank. We don't really know what it is, so currently it's to be determined, so it's blank. But let's move on over to one we do know, L, the love. Now this one was a little tricky to make, but kind of easy because we kind of have the charmed feature and a lot of charm-like effects within 5e that I can pull inspiration from. So it wasn't that difficult, but it was tricky to do. So let's read through it. As an action, you spend 10 SP and fire a beam of love. Make a ranged attack against a creature, Sabakto, or Fullbringer you can see within 60 feet. If successful, the target is charmed by you. While the target is charmed, you have a telepathic link with it as long as the two of you are on the same plane of existence. You can use this telepathic link to issue commands to the creature while you're conscious. No actions required, which it does its best to obey. You can specify a simple and general course of action, such as attack that creature, run over there, or fetch that object. If the creature completes the order and doesn't receive further directions from you, it defends and preserves itself to the best of its ability. You can use your action to take total and precise control of the target. Until the end of your next turn, the creature takes only the actions you choose and doesn't do anything that you don't allow it to do. During this time, you can also cause the creature to use a reaction, but this requires you to use your own reaction as well. You can only have a number of targets charmed equal to half your proficiency bonus. Then you get Love Kiss. As an action, you can spend 20 SP to fire a 30-foot cone out from you in a direction you choose. Any creatures, Zombacto and Fullbrings, must make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 18. On a failed save, they are charmed and subjected to your Shrift, which we can see within the manga when he does the Love Kiss kind of cone beam thing. I think it's pretty powerful. You have to spend 10 SP. You have to make a range attack, which can fail. Try to put not too many barriers, but a good enough amount of barriers where if you succeed this, it's rough on the subject, but enough hoops that, you're not just kind of mind controlling everybody all the time. But everyone, let me know what you guys think about it. If I still need to nerf it more, or if it's too powerful or too weak, let me know. But let's move on over to M the Miracle. Now this one was a headache. This one is one of the most just hardest ones to kind of bring onto pen and paper at all. Because in the manga, we know that, he does so much BS, so many weird things that just don't really translate well to pen and paper. So this is, I think, the best way to transfer it without it being a whole page and just a headache for the DM to run. So, and that's another thing too. Like some of these, I know people have asked me, why isn't, this done a certain way, or why isn't this added to the book? Because the DM also has to run these things and be aware of these things, and they can be a headache for the DM. So this needs to be easy enough for a DM to read, understand, and run and have to deal with, and easy enough for a player to read, understand, and know how to use it. So some of these are very convoluted within the manga and the show that have to be sometimes overly simplified because it's a tabletop game it's all pen and paper. It's not like a computer running it, like a video game. It's all manual, all analog, pen and paper. So it has to be easily doable for a player with pen, paper, and some dice. So let's read what it currently is. Whenever you would fail an attack, a saving throw, or skill check, as a reaction, you can spend 3 SP to succeed instead. When you are dealt a total of damage equal to your level, you increase in size. Your size category increases by 1, maximum gargantuan, and you gain the following benefits. You gain a +1 to strength and constitution scores for each size category above your original. Whenever you would lose a limb, including your head, you can spend 4 SP and it will regrow back to its original form at the end of the round. Whenever you are dealt bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage while wielding your armament, you can spend 2 SP. If you do, you negate the damage and have the creature that dealt that damage to you be dealt that damage instead. In the manga, it states that if something would be impossible for them to succeed, he would succeed instead. But what exactly does that mean within pen and paper? How is a player going to ever know if something's impossible to succeed? By D&D terms, nothing is impossible. Well, some things are impossible, but almost nothing's impossible to do because it's all random. It's all a dice roll. Nat 20 is most of the time a auto success all the time. So just that alone is nothing is ever really impossible to do. So that makes it really that makes it all weird. And then on here where you can regrow limbs, it states that they regrow even stronger. I mean, I could just put in something like if it's I'm gonna then have to go through each one and be like, okay, well if it's a leg, like it's your speed is increased. If you make a unarmed strike with your leg, it deal an extra damage. Or if it's your arm, your strength is like, I'm gonna have to go through each individual limb and like stay if it's this limb, it gets stronger in this specific way because you have to designate how much stronger it is. And I don't think putting in a flat bonus for any kind of limb feels right. So as you can see, it's really difficult to get the miracle in pen and paper form, but I think this is pretty good. So let me know what you guys think. Me and Ben, who work on these Schrifts, we spent 2 days on this one, just going through and talking about it. The video is going to be up on my Patreon. So if you want to watch that video as we kind of struggle with this Schrifts, head on over there and take a, give it a watch. Sometime this week it'll be posted, or probably by the time you watch this. But that's the miracle. I will probably come back to this later on, but this is kind of like where it's at right now. So let me know what you guys think. And we don't know what it is, so that's all as well to be determined. Next, we get to O and P, which are, they're really easy. They're not that difficult, so they're pretty small, but the ceiling of what they can do is pretty high. So over the Overkill, whenever you slay a creature, you can spend 4 SP. If you do, you gain the following benefits. You deal an additional 1d4 damage for each creature you have slain since your last long rest. You gain a bonus +1 to attack rolls for each creature you have slain since your last long rest. So you just get more powerful. You deal more damage, just as it states. Not too crazy. Pretty simple, but very powerful. Things don't have to be that complicated to be strong. And that's, I like it. That's okay. Next is P, the power. Your strength score increases by 2. You have advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. As a bonus action, you can spend 4 SP any number of times. For each time you've done so, your strength score increases by 2 until your next short or long rest. That's simple. We see her kind of get a little more powerful. I could just say there's also the simpler way of your strength score is now 30, 40. That's not that great to me. I think this is great. Strength score is by 2, and then on demand you can kind of make it stronger and more powerful, which it kind of seems like she can do when she kind of grows her muscles. So that's what I kind of modeled it after. But that's all the current ones here. That's all the new Schrifts and the new subclasses. That's it for all the new updates this week. Let me know what you guys think about all of them, and I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Leave it in the comments below. Like the video, head on over to the Discord, and maybe we can talk about it there as well. So for some announcements coming up, I'm going to be moving later this month to a new place. Once I'm moved in somewhere new and settled in, I am planning on running a Bleach campaign, ongoing long form campaign. They usually range between 20 sessions around there is what I'm thinking of. The campaign, it's going to be weekly. Now the patrons will have first dibs, so I will get with them on the Patreon exclusive Discord and get what their schedules are. Most likely will be modeled around when they are able to do it, and they will get first dibs to it. Now, normally I keep mine pretty small, so it's going to be anywhere between 4 to 6 people, depending on how many people are available. So if you are interested, please head on over to the Discord and let me know, or shoot me a message or private message on Twitter. Doesn't matter really where. I'll get the message. But yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. Now I would like to thank my current patrons for helping me out and supporting me in my endeavors. We got Captains Gianni Perez, Speed Zombie, Opsig Sauber, Anthony Floyd, and Senior Officer Gary Alexis. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and I hope you guys continue supporting me and liking the content that I put out. Thank you guys so much. And of course, as stated previously, I hope you subscribe, support me in any way, liking, sharing, coming to Patreon, sharing the book with whoever and everyone. Anyway, you guys want to help me out, I would appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time.